I would want to work in an office just for like a day, just to be like Brent and just be fucking saying David Brent things and just trying to be annoying as fuck, basically. Mate, that program is like my personality. Without that program, I don't think I would have a personality, honestly.
You're listening to Sappenin Podcast.
Sappenin!
You are listening to episode 320 of Sappenin Podcast, featuring my good self, Sean Smith, and my bad friend, Morgan Richards.
Whoa, that's a change. But here we go. Yes, it's me, Morgan Richards, and words do come so easily when this musician is in front of me, because we are writing snares, exposing fills on two bands who have provided a safety in sound.
This week's guest is drum extraordinaire Eddy Thrower.
Many people listening to this will know him as one of the founding members of Lower Than Atlantis. Spent all that time in the UK as one of the leading bands in that alternative scene throughout the 2010s. But over the last 6 years, has been behind the kit for a band called Busted, playing sold-out arenas, massive festival stages, and even re-recording some of their greatest hits for their new reimagined album that went to #1. So with all that going on, we've wanted to have him on this podcast for a very, very long time to discuss everything that has gone on with LTA and the potential of them maybe one day getting back together, to what it's like being behind the kit for a band like Busted and seeing their legacy, their growth, and their impact on the outside but still within. And this is just someone we've crossed paths with in the scene for many years.
Yes, real good egg, Eddie. Unfucking believable drummer and legend within the scene. Yeah, if you don't know Eddie or have never heard Eddie speak, I guess, well, you know, a lot of drummers, you've never heard him speak, but this is the wonderful Eddie who told us some fantastic, brilliant stories that you are going to enjoy when you hear them coming up.
Yeah, he's actually lent his drumming skills to a various smorgasbord of different artists as well. He's done a lot of pop sessions. Smorgasbord, yeah, I know. I'm using fancy words.
Fucking hell. Smorgasbord, more like. Smorgasbord. Oh, that's what we should do it this year. Right, at the end of the year, we're going to do a lowdown of the top 10 new bands, and we're going to call it Smorgasbord, right? And it's a mixture of mine and your top 10 picks. Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord, there we go. New year, new me. I'm trying to think of different things. But he's lended his talents to so many different artists as well, and he's even going to talk about the time he got to record for One Direction and 5 Seconds of Summer. He's someone that is so mad about drums that he's constantly in between all these touring schedules, lending his knowledge as a teacher and running courses and everything like that. And he's just launched a new one as part of a docu-series called Drums in Context, which is a fly-on-the-wall experience breaking down footage and video lessons behind the kit, just telling everyone secrets about some of the songs he has been a part of over the decades. You can go to his Instagram at Eddy Thrower for all the information on that. And throughout this conversation, we're just going to strip back and talk about every single thing. We're going to get all the gossip from Busted. We're going to get all the updates on the potential LTA reunion and how their breakup was and the friendship within the band, and just some mad stories in between. We talk about shoes, and we even talk about that gigantic Busted versus McFly tour that is hitting basically every single arena ever. And most importantly, if he will have a fight with Harry Judd.
Yes, that was the burning question, and I cannot wait to see those two boys topless, greased up, beating the fuck out of each other. Yes, like Morgan said, check out Eddie's bio on Instagram. It's at Eddy Thrower, at EDDYTHROWER. Eddy Thrower. Not the other Eddie, EDDIE. I'm just letting people know. Nice guy, letting people know. But yeah, what a fucking chat. What a guy. And what a fucking selection of bands he has worked with and been in. Fucking fair play to him. Good job.
You can keep up to date with everything we've got going on at Sappenin Pod on Instagram. Go back through our catalogue. we've done many episodes of every member of McFly and Busted and all your favorite emo bands from the 2010s that you can go back and reminisce over. And if you like this podcast and you want to support it, you want to continue to happen, maybe suggest guests and see what this year brings us, please go and support us via our Patreon page at patreon.com/Sappenin. Over there's a whole lot of extras. There's a beautiful community you can be a part of, and you just get to meet up with people at gigs, at festivals, have new friends. It's a good time, and you get to help us. So please do, because we've been doing this for over 6 years now, and we still need help. So that would be very much appreciated. But let's get straight into this. This is the drumming machine. That is Eddy Thrower on episode 320 of Sappenin Podcast.
Yes, Sappenin!
Sappenin!
100 more to go and we'll have Snoop Dogg on, I reckon. Sappenin!
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 Yes!
Even did a Welsh accent for you there, mate.
Do you know what?
You did.
I thought, I was like, oh, there's a little bit of Welsh here. And do you know what? Last week, our live podcast came out, and Morgan did an impression of Bryn from Gavin and Stacey on our live podcast. And your Welsh accent was better than Morgan's. And Morgan is Welsh.
I love an accent, mate. I love a cheeky accent. I don't know why. Scottish. Well, I say Welsh, but that's about. I feel like you can't say Sappenin in any other accent but really Welsh, can you?
Do you know what?
No offense, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what we're hoping. That's what we've tried to do over the last 6 years, is make sure no one else can take it away from us, I guess.
It's a brilliant name for a podcast, mate, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we did have, apparently, remember the band? Oh, well, I don't say remember. That's harsh. You know the band The View?
Yeah.
One of their members started a podcast and called it Sappenin.
No.
And then I had to email him and go, can't do our bed. We've got fucking 10 episodes out, you cheeky fucker.
Get the lawyer involved, mate. That's it. Get the lawyer.
Right, I should introduce our guest. We have been talking. If you somehow haven't read the title of this podcast and it has somehow come on without you knowing, this week's guest is drum extraordinaire, the beautiful and wonderful Eddy Thrower. How are you?
I mean, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on, mate. I appreciate it. This is like, I haven't been a guest in a podcast for a long time, mate. It's good to be here, mate. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, good to see you guys again. It's good to see you're in San Francisco, mate. Sure.
Yeah.
What's it like there?
Yeah, that's the inside joke. Is we're on Zoom. We're doing this over Zoom, and I've got the Golden Gate Bridge as my backdrop for some reason. Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks for having me on, man. How you boys been?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
just
good.
Trying to start 2025 as enthusiastic as we can. It's a weird period after Christmas. No one knows what's going on and everything. But how's everything with you, man? Like, it just seems like incredibly busy all over the shop.
I mean, yeah, it is, to be honest, but it's kind of what we spoke about before we started recording, like just trying to avoid the 9 to 5 and just trying to, I think the illusion of like musicians or anyone who works for themselves is that you've got it together and you know what you're doing. And I don't. I don't know what I'm doing day to day. I don't really know where I'm going to be tomorrow, to be honest. But yeah, mate, it's good. I was kind of reflecting, I think naturally as you do in the new year, about what you've been doing the previous year and maybe a couple of years. And yeah, mate, it's been kind of hectic. I've kind of been all over the place, really. But yeah, it's fun, mate. Just trying to, like I said, just trying to keep the dream alive, avoid the 9 to 5 and just play drums and write music and play music and yeah, man, do all the fun stuff we love to do. But yeah, it's kind of been hectic, mate, since Busted kicked things off again. It's been pretty full on. Yeah.
Well, when you have that time to reflect as well, like over the last 6 years in particular, things have been so busy and you've just been touring like non-stop with everything. I'm sure when you get that second to think about it, like the end of Lower Than Atlantis and then doing this, been drumming with Busted for all this time, it must be wild to see how far things have come and just this chapter of your life has been.
Yeah, mate, it is. And it's weird because I never saw it coming, to be honest, mate. I think we could all relate, like when you're in a band, you're kind of in that bubble and you're not really thinking about much at all. I wasn't thinking about anything, to be honest, mate. I was just thinking about, you know, you just do. You're in that bubble, you're with your mates, you're playing music, you're playing shows, and you don't really see it ever coming to an end. And then there comes a time where the conversation might pop up or someone mentions it. Maybe we should go on a break or hiatus, or maybe I don't want to do this, or whatever the thing is. And then you kind of, within a blink of an eye, start thinking about, shit, what am I doing? Like, how am I going to continue to play music, if that's what I even want to do? And this sort of recent chapter of my life after LTA was a weird one, mate. I was literally it came about, basically LTA had announced the last show, the hiatus, whatever that meant at the time. I think we were just too scared to say, like, that's it. So we just said hiatus, even though it was kind of it. So we left the door a little bit open, but I was in this little glamorous shipping container on a farm that I'm currently in. A little peek behind the curtain. It looks better than it is on camera. All right, it looks better than it is. But anyway, I was sat here and I was it was probably like 11 o'clock at night and I was just playing drums and practicing. And like I said, LTA was come to an end at that point and everyone knew it. We knew it. And then I got a DM, mate. I got a DM from Matt from Busted saying, do you want to, what are you doing next year? Do you want to come and play for us? And I think at that time it was November or later on in the year. So next year was technically like a month or two. And that was it. And I kind of read it and didn't even think about what to say. I just replied saying, yeah, of course, mate. And then I went home and told my now wife and she was like, what the hell? And I was like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, you guys can relate, mate. This industry or working for yourself or whatever you do in this creative landscape, you never know what's around the corner. And that's terrifying, but also kind of beautiful in a weird way. And that just kind of popped out of nowhere. And yeah, here we are like 5 years later or whatever, 4 years later.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, so it's been a wild ride since playing with these boys, and it's been amazing, mate. It's been super fun. You know them, don't you? You know, they're lovely people.
Oh, yeah, we've had them all on here multiple times. Yes.
Did the McFly Busted announcement, didn't you?
Yes. I think we started this podcast just thinking, let's just try and get a couple of my friends on till I run out of people to stop, or when people stop texting me back, the podcast is over. And now we seem to be the premier McFly and Busted podcast, somehow.
It's great, mate. It's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It's wicked, mate. And like, I think life's all about, without getting too deep too soon, but it's all about having these things that you enjoy to do, mate. And like, if you do it because you enjoy it, you zoom out and you go, fuck, we've been doing this 4 years. Like, this is a part of our thing. And it's wicked, mate. I love it, man. It's great. But yeah, the McFly lads are wicked. Busted are wicked. Yeah, man, a good group of lads for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. He says somehow, but it's all down to my fandom of both bands. That's what. That is true. Yeah.
You have stalked them into talking to us.
Yeah, probably. Well, here we are. But no, like, yeah, talking about that DM as well. That's mad. That's how it came about. And as you said, you never know what's around the corner with this industry. Have you had? I'm sure you've had conversations with the guys like since to be like, well, how did you find him, like offer it to me? Like, what was that process? Have you had that chat with them of how they came about thinking of getting you involved?
Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah, so basically, I think Matt or Charlie, either or both, I think, maybe reached out to a few people saying like, look, we're looking for a drummer. Who do you recommend? And I think luckily, like the people they are recommended me. I think one of the lads couldn't. Yeah, I think they just recommended me. It's weird because it makes it sound like proper Brent, doesn't it? They asked who was the drummer, and they all recommended me. But that's not what I mean. But basically, they asked around and they recommended me. And then I think Matt went on my Instagram and sent it to Charlie, and Charlie was like, "Yeah, wicked." And then that's how it sort of came around. And I think me and Charlie had met once before in person, but we had a lot of mutual friends like V-Man from Slipknot and all those people. And so like I knew of him. It's weird to say like, you know, someone from Slipknot in it, but
yeah, I know. And that's why I just laugh. I laugh because we all know V-Man from years ago. Like fucking my band and Cry for Silence did some shows together. And now you can literally say, oh yeah, V-Man from Slipknot.
It's mental, mate. About 2 weeks ago, me and my wife and my son went to see Slipknot in Birmingham. And my son is only 5, but he's like a massive Slipknot fan. This morning he had we go to the local arts and craft shop and buy like the plain white masks and paint them and stuff and make them look like Slipknot. Anyway, We met V-Man and we met Eloy, and my son, he was so starstruck, but also just the most fucking scared thing ever. I've got the most beautiful picture of V-Man putting on his mask and my son just next to him, like staring at him with awe, but also just being equally as terrified. It was so funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, so that's how it came around. I think they were just looking for a drummer and asked a few mates and then checked out my Instagram and it went from there, which is weird because Instagram is like, as a musician, anyone listening can relate. You need to use it, but equally you don't really enjoy it because you get the imposter syndrome, you get the doubt, you get the frustrations of like never getting things back, or that's what it kind of seems like. But that was a perfect example of, I was very much like active on socials, posting me playing, and that was a very like purpose. I was doing that for a good few years for this kind of moment, if that makes sense. And they saw my playing and reached out, and I think I met them the next day in London in their label. It was so Spinal Tap, mate. It was like they were in like, I think what building was it? It wasn't Universal. It was like another major. I can't remember who they were on. But I went in and they were in like the boardroom bit because they were signing copies of their album. And it was just the most Spinal Tap thing, like walking into like a major label building in the boardroom. It was just so funny. But we just met, hung out for like an hour or two, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And then that was it. There was no audition. There was nothing really. And
wow.
Yeah, it was great, mate, because one of the things that I really appreciated at that time, I was sort of dipping my toe into the session world with like pop acts and stuff. And I thought on paper I wanted to do it, but I didn't really enjoy it, man. I think coming from a punk rock DIY band, doing everything yourself, like everyone's mates, everyone's got this mutual respect. There's no hierarchy system there. You know, the crew travel with the band and they're your mates, and there's no, you share the same rider, you share the same dressing room. In that pop world, there is very much like a hierarchy system, and it's a different world. And it is a different world. And I kind of realized at that point, I don't know if I enjoy this. But one of the things Busted said straight away was, you'll be treated like a band member. You'll travel with us. You'll stay with us. Like, we value you, basically. And that meant a lot, because at the time I didn't know if I wanted to really keep on playing music. But yeah, it was cool, man. It was wicked. They're such nice guys, mate. As you boys know, they're just the sweetest guys. So yeah, it was a good time, man.
Yeah,
that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you see a lot of the best of both worlds playing in Busted as well, because I've mentioned so many times on here is that, they were a gateway for so many people to discover rock and alternative music, but just marketed and produced as a pop band. So you, as someone slightly on the involved, but on the outside of the perspective of how you look at things, it must be so interesting to see those differences and the parallels between everything else.
Yeah, man, mate, 100%. Like, it's a really unique perspective, really, because they treat me, like I said, like a band member, and it's really sweet, and I get to travel with them and stuff like that, and it just means a lot, man. Like, that band, we have so much fun on the road, mate, and it's just, it's like an interesting one, because I'm not in the band, but I'm also like not just like a session player type thing, you know what I mean? So it's like, I can go and play the show, and then I can go home and not think about stuff. Do you know what I mean? Whereas they're thinking about all these other things. So it's a good mix, mate. It's honestly like the perfect situation for me outside of LTA, where I was kind of tired of like the band life, of just that hustle, and it's tough being a band. You boys know, like, it's really tough. So to go from being in a band to then just being like, cool, you're going to be playing this show, and then that's that. And it was a really, really sort of like needed thing for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, yeah, it's fun. It's a good show for sure. It's a good show.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I can just imagine, I got to go and play arenas and play a set list full of mega hits and thousands of people screaming along, and then I get to go home and not worry about the band's future. Sounds extra relaxed.
Mate, it's so funny, because like the first 2 albums I ever bought were Metallica and Justice for All, and then Busted. Do you know what I mean? And
wow.
and now like, and yeah, so it's crazy, mate. I mean, like I said, man, it's just this fucking crazy life we all live in this sort of industry, or many industries. Like, you never know what's around the corner, or what's to come, or how you're even going to get there. But then you look back and you zoom out and you're like, oh fuck, this is cool. And the roadmap to it is so mental, and you will never be able to like actually make that up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you look back at it.
Well, yeah, well, you've played with Busted now, so it's only Metallica to go. And then you've first 2 albums.
Mate, that's
then.
it. Mate, no one can replace Lars, mate. Lars is the GOAT. Lars is one of the best drummers in the world. And people laugh when I say that. I genuinely think he is, mate. He's the demon. Are you a fan of Metallica? You must be.
No, I'm not. My problem is,
I've got a soft spot for him. But.
Yeah, I came into it too late. Like, my gateway band was Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
when I got into them, I was like, no, these granddads. I don't like these. When Metallica were, when everyone was like, oh, I love Metallica, I was like, well, they're old men.
Yeah. Mate, Limp Bizkit for me, man, they were like, it was like Metallica, Limp Bizkit, and then like Blink. Those sort of 3 bands or 4 band, mate, fucking hell, man. Best. And I love the way it's like come back. Like Limp Bizkit are like bigger than ever at the minute. Obviously Blink are, Metallica are. It's a cool, man. It's a cool little resurgence for sure.
Well, yeah, well, touching on that then, is there any chance ever of any sort of Lower Than Atlantis stuff or any other stuff that from the past?
Mate, to be honest, we did get offered to do a show last year, was it? 2024? It might have been 2023 now. But we did actually get offered to do a show, but and the initial consensus was like, all right, yeah, maybe let's look into it. Let's see. But it didn't work out for a few different reasons. Mainly because I was like playing shows, and one of the shows actually was on the same day as a Busted show that I couldn't move. And it got a bit mental because I was like, right, how can I actually do this? One of the potential shows was up north and I was playing in Brighton the same day. So it got to the point where me and a couple of the LTA lads and the tour manager were looking at a helicopter. We were like, right, we could get a helicopter from the top to Brighton. We could land it in this field. And it got to the point I was like, mate, this is great. It's not written in the stars. So like, let's just leave it for now. But who knows, man? Like, I love those guys. I've got so much respect for them. And I'm glad like Mike's back doing music because he's one of the best songwriters in the world, mate. He's like such an incredible musician and songwriter. And it's so good to see that. But who knows, man? Who knows? Like, every time I'm like at a show or whatever and there's a LTA fan there, they always say the same thing. They're like, come on, man. Come on, do it. And yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, again, You never know what's around the corner, mate.
You never. But can we just take a second to reflect on, you just said one of the most rock and roll sentences ever. You were looking at booking a helicopter to do both shows.
What's the damage on a helicopter from Brighton to north then, or from north to right?
It's surprisingly like less than you think. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but it's like, I don't know, it's like $5,000, $6,000 or whatever, which is a lot of money, obviously. But you know what I mean? Like, if it works out, but it was just stupid. But I just didn't, selfishly, I didn't want it to be the reason we couldn't do the show because of me. So I was like, right, I'll do anything. Do you know what I mean? I'll figure it out. But it didn't work out, man. But yeah, who knows, mate? Who knows? It's who knows what's around the corner, really. It's a tough one.
You could have had the biggest publicity stunt thing ever. You could have filmed it of you going in and then coming straight out of the helicopter the other side with the drumsticks ready, straight onto the stage. I
know, mate. But the thing is, it would have been too Brent. I would have made it too Brent.
It would have been very...
It would have been so Brent. It would have gone from like being this cool thing that you could have done to being this like just that David Brent, Alan Partridge sketch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you jumping off in Brighton going, helicopter, and just making it awkward. And
yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? I'd watch her. So, yeah.
Mate, to be fair, so would I.
Well, while we're talking about this, then, like, there's a lot of Lower Than Atlantis stuff I want to get into, but especially with you still being in the scene and touring as much as you do, I mean, over the last few years, we have seen that resurgence of a lot of bands and seeing peers of you guys get back together, whether it be the Blackout or Kiss and Glass Houses, Funeral for a Friend, Mallory Knox, all these kind of lots of bands. When you see all these reunions happen, what's your take on it from a perspective of having shared the road with many of these bands and also thinking, oh, well, maybe there is a section here or the door is open for LTA to do stuff here and there?
Yeah, mate, it's a good question, mate. I love I love to see it, to be honest, mate, because I think I fully understand like what the people in the bands are feeling and thinking. And like I said, kind of at the start, like being in a band is the most roller coaster thing in the world. It's like working for yourself is a roller coaster, but being in a band is, you know, like one day you think everything's all good. The next day you might think, oh my God, what are we doing? And there's more of you thinking that. So it's like, it's a tough thing to do, but at the same time, the most amazing thing to do. I like seeing when bands go, you know what, we're going to come back. And I love seeing that, mate. And I think there is a space for it. And it says a lot about, how impactful those bands were on people. I think, yeah, it's amazing, mate. I love to see it, man. It just goes to show, like, when you're in a band and you sort of end or whatever, you think, okay, cool, right, this is needed. But actually, like, the consumer of music, just they'll keep listening, they'll keep coming to shows. It's just, it's just, you have to be in the right mindset yourself. But yeah, I love seeing it, mate. And I think there is a space for it, but it has to be at the right time where everyone's like up for it and on the same page regarding so many things. And but I love to see it, mate. I love to see it. And especially with, you know, the punk rock world, I love to see that, because I think, it's a lot more deep than other genres, I feel. I don't know. It's just like, if you're a fan of a band, when you're a kid, that never leaves you, mate. Like, we all felt it when Blink came back. You have this sort of, when Tom joined again, it was like this nostalgic feeling of like, oh my God, this is fucking wicked. And it means so much more to you than weirdly any other genre of music, I think. But yeah, I love to see it, man. And like I said, who knows what's around the corner? And talking about that nostalgic feeling, like, Busted. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I first joined, it was like 2018 or 19, and then did a tour, did a load of shows, and then came back. And the tour that they came back with, mate, it was just after lockdown or whatever, well, a little bit after lockdown, and it went crazy, mate. It was like 3 nights at the O2 and double nights everywhere. But like, no one, I think the management expected it because they were gunning for it. But like, I remember being in a rehearsal room in London, and I think we were just practicing for a TV thing that we were doing. I think it was Ant and Deck Saturday Night Takeaway, actually. And I remember just like the boys just constantly on the phone to like the promoter, and they were like, right, another one's been added. And everyone was just losing their mind. And it was like, right, I think a third one's going to be added. And it just kept on going and going. But that's what I mean, mate. Like, that genre of music and all the subgenres within it is, it's very meaningful to a lot of people. And it's deep, and it's like undescribable for a lot of people. And I'm glad to see it come back, man. I'm glad to see it. Like, seeing bands just play shows for the pure love of it, is wicked, mate. Yeah, I love to see it.
Like you said, this music, this genre, or our kind of scene, I guess, covering all the genres, is a lot deeper, and therefore I think it meant a lot more to people during their formative years of growing up and stuff, and then to see their bands that they loved when they were younger, who have helped them become the people they are, I guess. Is an amazing feeling, because I was over the moon when like My Chem got back together, and then Funeral, and then it was amazing to see.
Yeah, it is amazing, mate. And also, it's fucking cool, mate. Like, luckily, within our genres, mate, I think the older you are, the cooler it is, mate. There's nothing more cool. Like, I went to see Blink on their last tour, and it was like, this is fucking cool, mate. You got like older guys, like when you see Dave Grohl or even Slipknot now, you're like, this is fucking cool. It's wicked. I think it's and I think, mate, like, it's all about just the enjoyment, mate. Like, it doesn't matter about any of those like other factors like age, you know, whether it's your full-time thing, whether you're making your full-time wage from it or whatever. Like, if you're enjoying it, that's the only thing that matters, you know? And it's fucking wicked, mate. I love it.
Well, that's the thing as well. Speaking of those bands reuniting, like, I grew up on that 2010s UK alternative scene, right? And I guess this is a question to the two of you, really, but, you know, being in it, I know you're so busy and you're just kind of focusing on your own stuff and trying to get out there and survive. But did you all feel that, like, at that time, like those late 2000s, early 2010s, there was such a pool of bands within that scene, and it was a very important time for a lot of important bands, because it reflects now that maybe 10 years later, everyone's reuniting and the audience is there and craving for them more than ever. So just wondering, like, Eddie, for you, like, at that time in LTA, did you feel like, fucking hell, this is a big scene and we're part of something that might last more than just us?
Yeah, in a way, but also at the same time, like, no, like, honestly, when I look back at those days in LTA, the most I was thinking ahead, we're going to do tomorrow. And I think that's like, yeah, I look back at those days and there was no worries in the world. There was like no stresses. You were just with your mates having a laugh and like you were living the dream, really. Like you were just in the van with your mates and you were playing shows and you were hanging out after the show. Then you were traveling to the next one, sleeping at the side of the road, going to this service station and like trying to figure out what you could afford with like the no money you had. And I think, yeah, weirdly, that probably came into it. Like all these bands just enjoying it and with no thought to anything, really. I think it's different now. Obviously, social media is way bigger. Social media was a thing then, but not as big and as prominent as it is now. And I think you could live almost a bit more freely in that sense. You could just, all you needed to do was drive to a show, play it, and drive to the next one and play it. Do you know what I mean? And you could kind of just live in that naive, blissful, like ignorance is bliss world. So yeah, weirdly not. It's just like, I think it was a magical time for sure when you look back, but it was just, I wasn't thinking about anything, mate. I was literally just having the time of my life, really. It's probably the same for you, Sean, no?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was just a whirlwind. Like, you look back at it now and you're like, fucking hell, all of these class bands were like together and about, but it was such a whirlwind. And we were I know personally, I was so focused on getting to the Blackout to the next gig or trying to get us on tour or doing stuff like that at the time, like I knew of Lower Than Atlantis, Enter Shikari, Kids in Glass, you know, I know of all these bands and they were all great bands, but I never knew how great they were at the time because I was so immersed in everything that was going on and I was seeing everybody so often that I thought, oh, this is never going to end anyway. Like we're all going to be friends playing forever. All of these tours are going to happen at some point. Like we're all going to fucking tour together. This is our jobs forever. Wrong.
Yeah. Wrong. Yeah, mate, it's true. It's so true, mate. Like I said, man, like, I think, and honestly, mate, that's the way it should be in those early days of like doing anything really. You're just doing it for the pure love of it and whatever's sort of happening is happening. I look back at those times and like, yeah, it was just, you're just enjoying the moment and weirdly just sort of honing in your craft without knowing about it, like playing as many shows as you can, trying to get on the next show, like hanging out with this person, doing that or whatever. Like, yeah, it was just like a hamster wheel really of just having fun, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, let's reflect on those final LTA shows because, you know, the last one at Brixton Academy, I know you had Busted already kind of sorted in the background by the time you would have played them, but like, do you remember how emotional or just the thoughts and the feelings around that time? Because, you know, it's life's work. And then to know that you may be stopping something, I can only imagine how heartbreaking or different you look at those shows and remember those shows compared to any of the others.
Yeah, man, mate, it was so emotional, mate. And I think I didn't realize how emotional it was until we actually played the last London show. Like I remember thinking, flipping out. Like this is kind of crazy. Like we've worked our entire lives. And also like when you're in a band, yet again, like you can relate, mate. Like it's your identity, it's everything. Like what you say to people when someone says, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm in a band, mate. Like that's now what you say when someone says, what do you do for a job? You can't say, well, I used to be in a band. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, but what do you do? Do you know what I mean? It's an interesting one. So it's,
imagine saying that to a plumber, like a former plumber. What do you used to do? Or what do you do for work? Oh, I used to be a plumber.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm currently unemployed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fucking weird response, mate. What do you mean you used to be a plumber? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's an interesting one, mate. So there's so many like deep things that come into it. It's like your identity and your friendship group and all of those things. But yeah, man, it was emotional, but I think it was the right time for sure. I think, we were all sort of individually doing a lot of different things. And by that point, Mike was writing a lot of music for other artists and stuff. And Ben had a new thing on the go. And we were all doing sort of different things. And I think it was a natural time. And also what was super important to us in the band was that we went when we were sort of biggest, if that makes sense. And that's a very hard decision to make because that's basically like, well, nothing's really telling us to stop right now. We're just making the conscious decision to like put a full stop to this. But yeah, like I said, which was a really tough one. I mean, a lot of people got into LTA on that last record with like Had Enough and, all of those, that album, Safe and Sound. Because I had a lot of messages being like, mate, I just discovered you and now you've just broken up. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, sorry, mate. But yeah, it was emotional, man. And like I said, I keep on referring back to like, it is a crazy ride, this thing within music. Like it's crazy. And luckily Busted was going at that point. I'd already actually played a few shows with Busted, but even then I didn't know what Busted were doing after. I didn't know whether it was just one tour or not, but yeah, man, it wasn't emotional, mate. It was emotional, but at the same time, the right time to be like, cool, this is it for now. Do you know what I mean? And leave the door somewhat open. Yeah, I'm sure. Like you've probably had shows like that where you've been like, fuck, is this it or is it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we officially split up in 2015 with a blackout, and we called our lot. Remember Michael Jackson did those, or was going to do those 50 dates?
Yeah.
And he called his tour, This Is It. Well, being Welsh, we called our last tour, This Is It. Is it?
That's fucking brilliant, mate. I'll tell you what, your branding is on point, mate. It's so good.
And then when we came back in 2023, our tour was called Wasn't It? Was It?
Fucking brilliant. I mean, again, you left the door open. Do you know what I mean? You left the door open. But yeah, man, it is a crazy ride, mate. I mean, that's honestly like why every time I play a show now, I just enjoy it. Weirdly, you boys can relate. A lot of people listening can relate. When you play a show, regardless of the level or how big the show is or whatever, you get in this flow state and you just do it. It's kind of like being a skater or a boxer. You're just in there doing it, and then you reflect. And then you see a picture the next morning and you go, oh, fucking hell, that was cool, wasn't it? I didn't really soak that. I didn't really even see that part of the show, or, I didn't really see the scale of it, or I didn't feel or hear the energy. You're just doing your thing. And now, every time I play a show, mate, I treat it like the last show I might ever play. And I honestly just soak it all in and enjoy it for what it is. And yeah, man. Yeah. I think that's the best way. And I think that's advice to anybody who's just recently started a band. Enjoy it. Take it in, because it is a whirlwind roller coaster otherwise. And, mate, it really is.
Now I've learned, well, when we split up in 2015, if you had told me mid 2014 that we were going to split up, I would have called you a liar and been like, no, we're doing this band forever. Mm-hmm. And then when it actually dissipated then, like you said earlier, like I was shown from the blackout, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. I was shown used to be from the blackout.
Yeah.
And now I appreciate every single moment I can get on or near a stage after missing it for so much. So man. People listening, be mindful and enjoy yourself while you can in bands, because you never know.
That's it, mate. You've got to, man. And also, like, not take every opportunity, don't be the guy that's just milking everything, but at the same time as well, like, acknowledge what you're doing and see, like, okay, how can this help me later on in life? You know what I mean? Like, I do a lot. I used to do way more drum content, specifically drum content, but like even then, like every Busted show, mate, I've got a GoPro on my kit. I don't really post it, but I might do. And I want to just utilize every opportunity, and not to the point where it's like, being annoying or whatever, but enjoying the moment, and then just also acknowledging what you're doing and appreciating it. And especially with the Busted stuff, mate. Sometimes I look up and I'm like, this is crazy how this came to be, and like, yeah, it's nuts, man. But enjoying shit is the key to life.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets is not having recorded more when I was in the blackout, and so the fact to hear that you're recording, and even if you're not putting it out, just the fact that you've got it, I think is amazing, and will be a treat to look back on in years to come, because I'm seeing videos of us now on YouTube and stuff like that, and it's blowing my mind. Like there's shows. I was looking at my old band. We played a show in Newport, apparently. I watched the whole set the other day, and I was like, I don't remember minute one of doing that.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy. Like, yeah, exactly, mate. That's what I mean. You're in that flow state, and it's like, it's a weird thing to go through. Like, I remember there was a weird moment where, well, a couple of weeks ago we went to see Slipknot. It was the same venue that Busted played. And I went in the front and like V-Man got us back, but we went through the front and like, you know, parked at the car park and shit. Like basically doing it like you know, someone coming to watch the show. And I was like, fucking hell, man. Like I've played there and you don't feel this. You don't see the energy and see the the amount of people and even though those moments make you appreciate like, oh, cool. I'm glad I've done, you know, the other side to this. But yeah, man. Yeah. It's crazy, mate.
I'm sure there's a lot of those moments for you as well with Busted that maybe as the member of the band, but still like an outsider in that weird juxtaposition, that you see that maybe the guys would maybe overlook or not take in as much as well. Like, for example, I can only imagine how hyped you were for them that you were all playing Download Festival and then seeing that tent be completely packed and people trying to get in for miles around it.
Yeah. That Download was fucking crazy, mate. Yeah, that was a moment for sure. And that was a weird one because, I mean, Download specifically, talking about that first. I remember we were doing juxtaposition, like we were doing a Capital FM, like Jingle Bell Ball or something. Something very pop, right? Something like proper mainstream pop where it's like the crowd has fucking, you know, like light up bands around their wrists. It's just mums and dads everywhere. And then I think Matt got the email or whatever saying there was a download offer, and I was like, oh mate, that's crazy. Like you got to say yeah, mate. Like that would be crazy. And obviously, you know, they said yeah, and made it happen. It was a brilliant call on like management's part and the band part. But the beautiful thing about that was that it was a proper small show. Like it was a proper, really small tent, and I think at the time, like no one that kind of again they're not pop, but like from that world had played Download, and it was no one really knew how it was going to go, but I kind of did. I knew it would be rammed. I knew it would be like a lot of people have grown up listening to that music, and yeah, it was crazy. And I think it meant a lot to Charlie as well, specifically because obviously he went through stuff with Fightstar when he joined that. And I think it was cool to see like a tent. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but a tent like that, just singing the songs that they gave you shit for back in the day. You know what I mean? It's like, hang on a minute. And that's what I said. I was like, mate, everyone playing that show, even the bands there, and everyone there will know every single word to those songs, mate. And they did. So yeah, it was wicked, mate. It was cool, man.
Yeah, I managed to elbow my way through the crowd to get in. And when I say that, it took me a while to do so. And my favorite part was the fact that there was just a giant mosh pit for what I go to school for.
Yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, again, like soaking it in and talking, you know, trying to enjoy the moment. That was technically actually a really tough show because there was a few things wrong that went technically, like in-ears and all that kind of stuff and whatever. Like, it's always the way, innit? It's like every time you play a show and it's like a London show, you can guarantee there's going to be like a weird thing where like something's gone wrong or whatever. But it was no one's fault, but there was just a few technical difficulties. So it was hard to get in the flow state of that show, to be honest with you. But then I look back at videos and I'm like, fucking hell, the crowd was super loud and it was good. But yeah, man, that was a moment for sure, mate. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, mate, those boys, like, I don't think they're not numb to anything. Like they're so like appreciative and thankful that they can do what they do, even, you know, all these years later. And to be honest with you, mate, I don't think they really, truly, and ever will, because they're inside that bubble, realize how impactful that band were to a lot of people in this country. Regardless if you're into rock, metal, or whatever, like that band came out at a time where, you know, like bands were huge. You could only see that band if you went to a show. Social media wasn't around. Like they did fucking press, like like a UFC press conference. They did like press conferences. Do you know what I mean? It was such a crazy part of the music industry, and they were right in the middle of it. And yeah, that band they've got a lot of impact on people in this country for sure. And they appreciate everything, and and they enjoy it, man, for sure.
Yeah, we try and remind them of that every time any of them or McFly have been on, because, yeah, as I said, such gateway bands.
Well,
Really
the first Charlie one we had on, I think we basically convinced him that Slam Dunk would be a good idea for him, because he was having an R in or whatever, and we were like, don't be so fucking stupid, do it. Think of all the kids who now love punk rock, who grew up to Busted. And then a couple of months later, they were announced for Slam Dunk, and then we saw him there at Slam Dunk, and he had a couple of beers.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He called us Welsh cunts and then thanked us for
Mate, Charlie, mate, when he's had a beer, he is such a laugh, mate. I love, like, honestly, he's one of my best mates, man. He's one of the naturally funniest people ever. He is so funny, mate. Talking about Alan Partridge, he's like my Alan Partridge, mate. It's some of the stuff he comes out with. I'm like, mate, how on earth did you come up with that analogy or like metaphor for something? He's a very funny guy, mate. Very funny.
Yeah, we love him. You mentioned a couple of like different playing styles, and as a drummer, how different is it, and like maybe technique wise, playing in a punk rock metal band, or for someone like Busted, or one of those pop sessions you mentioned, just kind of working your way around a drum kit? Because especially like, you know, you got to re-record all the Busted hits for that for the Greatest Hits album that went to #1, and, you know, lovely photo with you with the trophy and stuff like that. Like, how different is it as a drummer to navigate through different styles like that? Or is there a lot of crossover that people maybe wouldn't think?
Right. What a good question, mate. You guys are good at this podcast stuff, aren't you? You guys are good at this. Yeah, mate, it's a great question. There is a lot of similarities and things that sort of cross over into different genres. And actually, weirdly, like from a drummer's very drum specific, I'm actually glad and thankful that I got into heavy music and rock music before any other genre, because I think it translates across pop. It translates across pretty much every genre apart from jazz, really. So if you're a drummer now and you're playing rock for your, you know, in your band or even metal, to dip your toe into the pop session world will be quite easy for you, to be honest with you. There's a few skills that are somewhat different, and maybe one of the biggest things that isn't transferable is that, and yeah, Sean, you can relate to this, mate. When you're in your own band, right, and you're playing, and let's say you make a little cheeky mistake, right? When you're with your mates and it's your band, it's a bit of a laugh. If anything, it's like, thank God you've mucked up, because we got something that separates this show from all the others. You know what I mean? It's like when you're on tour, it's like, hey, you mucked up. Like, I remember in LCA, mate, I started, and this was kind of early doors, but still it was a fairly big show. I was running tracks off an iPad back in the day when we didn't really know what we were doing, and I started the wrong one. So I came to a song, and like Mike, Deck and Ben turned around like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, fucking hell, sorry, mate, my fault. And it was like, you mucked up. But the difference is when you play for someone else and you're hired to play for someone else, you can't really make a mistake. And if you do, then it's not like necessarily a strike one on a whiteboard. But there is a sense of like, I can't. I like that. That's not what. That's if Charlie, James, or Matt make a mistake, then that's whatever. It's their band. If I make a mistake, it's a different kettle of fish for me anyway. I'm sure they wouldn't mind, but it's that's why I don't drink before I play. I mean, I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I'd rather an honest mistake be an honest mistake as opposed to, well, he did have a beer tonight. Do you know what I mean? And there's that you have to wear a different hat when you're playing for someone else, especially in that pop session world. It's a completely different thing. But yeah, man, regarding like recording and stuff, there are a lot of transferable skills. And one of the many reasons why I'm super thankful for LTA is because, you know, like we were just honing our craft and just sort of throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks throughout all those years. You know what I mean? When it came to recording drums, it was like, all right, well, we were a punk rock band. Some of the early stuff on Far Q, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's pretty full on. All right, how can I evolve that and learn to play for the song a bit better? And I learned a lot when we signed to Island Records and we started getting in rooms with different producers and writers and stuff. You know, you learn about maybe it's not what you play, it's what you don't play, or maybe there's no feel there. Maybe there's like just play on the hi-hat instead of the big fucking China or crash cymbal. Do you know what I mean? Little things like that over time you learn to evolve things. And most of the time you're evolving with stripping things back, you know. But yeah, so my point is, from LTA, when it came to like recording the Busted stuff, I'd learned a lot about, you know, dynamics and letting the vocal come out here, and recording that year, recording the Busted re-record album was actually quite tough, like mentally, because you're re-recording classics that people know and love, and whether they're musos or not, they're expecting to hear something or feel something, and you can't play around with that too much. But within the same breath, you want to evolve it. Do you know what I mean? So you're trying to evolve it, but not change it too much from the original. But I think we managed to do that. But that was a trip, mate. That was a trip. Recording Year 3000, and hearing it on the radio and being like, that's me drumming. That was weird. But very cool. Do you know what I mean? Very cool.
Well, with writing for Busted now, does that come down to the band? Like, is that Matt, Charlie, and James's deal? Do they like write the drum parts now, or do they leave things to you, or do you just come in and record, or how does that work?
Yeah, mate, another great question. So, I mean, since the re-record, there's only been, I think, 2 songs that have come out that have been sort of their new songs, basically. And how that worked was, I just went to Charlie's and recorded the drums, basically. And then they sort of write, basically. Like, who knows where the future, what is ahead, really, regarding writing. I've heard a few things, and it's really exciting, but yeah, man, like, it's I don't know. We'll see. We'll see regarding like what's next with Busted and whatnot. But it's exciting, man. But yeah, mate, like, also with the Busted stuff, like, me and Charlie MD it, which is really fun. That's like a nice creative role. Like, we do all the backing tracks, we put the show together, we, you know, do all that kind of stuff, which is super fun as well, man. That's the shit I really love to do, mate. Like, put a show together. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what happens in the future with Busted.
I know,
stuff as well.
I was saying that, and I was like, shit, I can't say too much, but I don't know what to say. But I have to say something.
No, we get it. But with that, I'm sure, like, and you mentioned the sessions. Is there a load of like albums or tracks of just artists you've played with or recorded with that people just wouldn't know, or like where they've missed, and like Sneaky Eddy like drum parts all over the place?
I mean, like, I've done a lot of stuff that, like, I've done a lot of like library and TV stuff, and I did 5 Seconds of Summer, which was an interesting one. I did a track for like One Direction, I think maybe 2 tracks. But yeah, I've done a few little bits and bobs, really. But it's weird now with the current landscape of drums, because MIDI is so big, and like you can literally have a number 1 album and it sound incredible, and you can write it on a laptop in your mum's bedroom. Do you know what I mean? And it's nuts. But yeah, like, I did some 5 Seconds of Summer stuff, which was cool. Again, like, that just came from being in a studio with a specific producer who LTA were working with, and I literally just said, like, mate, if you ever need drums for anyone else, just let me know, like, on the way out. And he was like, yeah, cool. And I didn't think anything of it. And then I got an email like fucking a week, or it was pretty soon after, and it was an email from him saying, do you want to come and record a track for One Direction? I was like, yeah, definitely. So that's kind of what I mean about, like,
it's the biggest band in the world at the time. That's fucking mental. Oh, if you need drums for anything else, all right, I'll give you a call in about 7 days for the biggest band in the world at that time.
Yeah, it was mental, mate.
It was fucking mad, Ed.
Yeah, mate, I know, man. Mate, it's fucking crazy. But that's what I mean about this world. It's like, you've got to tread that line carefully of trying to utilize every opportunity, but not be like too, you know, needy and trying to rinse every opportunity. But it was just luckily, a lot of the songwriters in London don't actually have, from my experience, don't have a real kit. But this one had a kit. So he saw me play. We were writing a few songs together. And I just thought, fuck it, I'll just say, like, you know, if you need anyone, let me know. And he did. So yeah, it was good, man. And weirdly, he was one of the early songwriters and producers for Busted. So yeah, again, it kind of like comes around. Yeah,
it's wild how small this industry really is, and how small this world is when you think about stuff like that. But speaking of One Direction, I got to ask you this, because I always remember this being a big rumor at the time. Lower Than Atlantis and the song Emily. Is it true that One Direction, like someone on their team heard it before it was released and then tried to buy it off you?
I actually don't know, but it doesn't surprise me. Mike would be the one to ask for that, because he was very much in that, like, you know, songwriter world, and it doesn't surprise me. And like I said, mate, Mike is what genuinely one of the best songwriters like around. And he was writing a lot of songs at the time, and with some big songwriters as well. He did a lot, and he did some stuff for 5 Seconds of Summer as well. So it wouldn't have surprised me, mate. Wouldn't have surprised me, but I'm glad we got it. It's a banger. I'm glad. But mate, I listened to that album and I'm like, fucking hell, man, this is wicked. And from time to time, I'll just send a screenshot to Mike being like, fucking hell, mate, that song is amazing. But yeah, I'm glad we got it though. But that songwriter world is crazy, mate. It's like, I never knew that kind of stuff happened. Like, you would just write a song and just dish it out to loads of people, and then, you know, like someone would take it and whatever. But yeah, man, crazy. I mean, that's how the 5 Seconds of Summer stuff was. It was just like, I went in to play on some demos that I thought at the time. And then, I think I was at a party with my mate, and he had written a 5 Seconds of Summer song, and he was playing it to a few people at this party. And like, we were like off our nut. And the next song came on that was 5 Seconds of Summer. And I was just sort of having a chat. And then I sort of stopped and was like, hang on a minute. That's me playing drums, isn't it? And then I got on an email like there and then to the producer being like, mate, is it me playing drums on this song? And he was like, yeah. I've already like done your, like, you know, PRS and like PPL stuff. And I was like, fucking wicked.
Nice.
He was like, it was on my to-do list to let you know. And I was like, well, yeah, crazy, mate. So yeah, I was just at a party and I heard the drums and I was like, I recognize that feel. Is that must be me? And it was. So yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Whoa, what a way to find out.
Yeah, I know, exactly, mate.
Yeah, speaking of mad drum fills as well, and you've talked about playing so many different styles and for so long, but look, something you've always done in the background is teach, or being there to give advice or like lessons and anything like that with drumming as well. And now you've just launched a new kind of course and docu-series called Drums in Context. Can you just give us the down low about that and what you're actually offering, and if people want to learn drums, how they can benefit that from this and from you?
Yeah, man, mate. I mean, to be honest, teaching is something I love to do, mate. I fucking love it. Like, I think I'm like ADHD, dyslexic as hell. Like, learning drums for me in the beginning was actually really hard, because everyone was learning the most conventional ways through sheet music or theory and one-to-one drum lessons, and I just wasn't picking it up. I just wasn't understanding it. I had, at the time, lessons in school and private lessons just to read music, and I just wasn't getting, my brain just didn't work like that. So for a while I was like, I don't know how to get better with this instrument. And then I basically just started learning in my own ways and just playing to music and having fun and basically just practicing in context, you know, and just playing music with my mates and playing along to Slipknot and playing along to Offspring and all of these bands and learning that way. And I think my love for teaching came from that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the key to getting better at anything is enjoyment. You have to have fun with it. You have to, because it's like the gym. If you go to the gym and you do this horrific workout, you'll probably go a handful more times and then give up. But if you go for 20 minutes, somewhat enjoy it, you're going to do that more consistently. So I think my love for teaching came from that, just having a bad experience with learning myself, and trying to basically just show others like you can learn, and you don't have to be, you know, theory based and practice in the most conventional ways, because I didn't. I can barely spell drums. Do you know what I mean? but I can play them. So it's like, you know, have fun with this instrument, have fun with every instrument. Do you know what I mean? Like, prioritize the enjoyment over anything else. And I think the school system at the time when I was younger and the lessons I had wasn't like that. It was like, well, no, this is how you learn, this is how you practice, and this is how you get better. And that's not how I learned, and that's not how I got better, and that's not how I practiced. So my love for teaching comes from that, really, man. And also just like with the drums and context thing, it's basically like a fly on the wall process of me tracking drums to 2 songs I don't know. One of them is a busted song. Yet again, I've got like this, not chip on my shoulder, but I've got like this Superman cape on when it comes to value for musicians. I think I hate when I see musicians get underpaid or be underappreciated or disrespected in any way. And I think drummers specifically, we get so caught up in our heads with like, right, this crazy drum fill. And it's like, yeah, but that's not adding value to this thing right now. And like, like the vocals are doing this, just stay out of the vocals way. That's the most important thing. That's what people are going to sing. That's what's going to translate on radio. Like, stay out of that way. So I just try to add value to any drummer that kind of wants to learn that process. Do you know what I mean? And marry those two things. Like, look at Blink-182 and even the LTA stuff back in the day. Like, some of the drum stuff was chopsy and busy, but you've got to then play for the song and play for the moment. And when I look back at my life, I think one of the reasons why I've been able to do it for a job up until this point, because who knows what's going to happen, but it is adding value. Do you know what I mean? Like, be able to make a song better by sometimes playing things that sometimes by playing nothing at all, just a simple beat, but it's adding value. So I think it comes from that, mate. Like, my love for teaching just comes from, I had such a bad relationship with learning in school, out of school, with drums, and then also my love for just like trying to give musicians the most value possible, so it helps them in life. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well, feel free to plug away anything for Drums in Context as well. Give everyone the download right now, just the whole thing. So I've only got a couple slots left open, basically, but you can buy it. Go to my link in bio in Instagram. You get access to a private WhatsApp group, but it's like 3 hours worth of footage of me basically recording a song with Charlie, and then one on my own. And then I break it down afterwards. Me and Charlie break it down and analyze it, and then talk about things within the session, like literally break down like feels, why I'm doing this, why I'm not doing that. So yeah, man, it's pretty cool. It's so weird, mate. I hate doing the salesman thing with the music. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You guys probably experience the same thing with the podcast. It's like, why can't people just know it exists? Do you know?
100%.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sell it. I don't want to fucking sell it. But I guess you got it from time to time, man. But I appreciate you letting me give the little plug there, man. But yeah, it's just about adding value, mate, to drummers. I think specifically drummers.
Well, touching on that, how do you feel about this like fucking TikTok sort of era we're in, I guess, where we've got to all become fucking directors and fucking film photographers and cinematographers and editors. How do you feel about that?
It's a lot, mate. It's a lot for sure. It's I think luckily now content's going a bit more, hopefully long term. Long form. But yeah, it's tough, mate. Honestly, with this course, for example, I was on camera speaking, which is really fucking hard to do. You guys are great at it because you got a podcast and you're just fucking naturally good at it. Also, you put the time and effort in. But like talking on camera, trying to teach, then film it, then edit it, then color grade it, then put it out, and then do that again and do that again and again and again. Do you know what I mean? So it is hard, man. I think you've got to have. It's overwhelming, like anything really. It's quite overwhelming. But I think if you have a reason and a goal for it, and to circle back. When I joined Busted and they just went on my Instagram and I didn't have to audition or anything like that. Like I said, it was a conscious decision to like make content. I remember being in LTA being like, why I don't just want to be known as a band guy. I want to be known as like someone who can play different genres and maybe play for other people. And I went and bought a GoPro, and just went from there. Then I bought a DSLR camera. And then I started talking on camera, which was fucking terrifying. And it took me about a week to get one video out. Because every time I turned the camera on, I'd be like, cool guys. Well, I've never said that. Why am I changing that? And then I'll go again and be like, all right, people. Why am I saying all right, people? And I got so in my head. But you're right, mate. Like, we're directors, we're the actor, we're the mixer, producer, we're the engineer, the producer, the marketing director, the salesman, all of these kind of things. But honestly, mate, getting back to my previous point about value, this is why I think people in the music industry, especially people within our sort of scene and genre, and people who exist within it and without it, like even you guys right now, it's like with the podcast, I've learned so much about a lot of things: business, marketing, sales, fucking bullshit, like creating content, Photoshop, Premiere, all these different softwares. And it's weird because at the time when you're in a band, for example, you think the value is what you're doing, and it is to a certain extent, but actually the value is what you're learning whilst doing all that shit. Like, I've got another business which is in sneakers, and all I do in that is just apply basically what I've learned from being in a band, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think, yet again, you have a chip on your shoulder when you sign to a major and this person's getting 150 grand a year and you're working your asses off doing the merch, coming up with the merch, selling the merch, writing the music, recording the music, touring, doing all that stuff, and they're on 150 grand a year and you're like barely making minimum wage. You're like, hang on a minute. But actually looking back now, the value is you learn so much from being in a band and doing anything for yourself. And yeah, man, it's that's my biggest takeaway from being in a band, to be honest with you, mate. All that shit.
Nice. Yeah. You can't say the word sneakers and then carry on. What's going on here? What's this?
So basically, I've got another business which is a Discord group where it's basically like we buy and sell sneakers. It started off with basically I collected shoes for a long time, especially like hype stuff.
Yeah.
Off-White, like all the brands, Yeezys back in the day, like streetwear, basically, Supreme. And when I was in LTA, I used to go into London and enter all the raffles for these like really exclusive drops. And I started winning. And I started winning a few pairs, and I realized actually I'm making quite not a lot of money, but like at the time I was making a bit of extra cash, and I thought, fucking hell, like I can buy a pair, keep for myself, and I can fit the other one, get this pair for free and make a little bit extra. And it's just started growing. And then, long story short, man, about like 6 years ago, I met one of my now best mates. And he had a group that basically informed people of drops. So whether you wanted a shoe for yourself or whether you wanted to like buy it and flip it. And at the time I was doing a drumming membership, and I just said to him, mate, let's combine the both. Like, I'll take everything I've learned regarding running a membership, and you are good at buying the product. Let's just combine the two. So yeah, here we are, mate. Like 6 years later,
wow.
It does well, man. Like it's a Discord group for people who are interested in buying streetwear and sneakers and shoes and items to either flip or keep for themselves.
Nice.
It's very niche, mate. It's very niche.
Is it? Can anybody join, or is it just friends?
It's on a wait list right now, but mate, if you want in, I'll sort you out, mate.
I love this. A wait list. Oh, I love that you've got a wait list. Yeah, mate, that's amazing.
Yet again, talking about the wait list thing, it's like fucking, this is just shit that we learned from just being in a band. Do you know what I mean? Just like, but yeah, man, I'll sort you out. I'll send you the group.
Please.
Mate, yeah, like, mate, I've made about 300 quid on Vinted, like, over the last 2 days, mate.
Nice. Back and fair play.
So now this podcast is about flipping sneakers.
Strapping in.
Does this mean you've got a big collection yourself?
I've liquidated a lot of it because I just never wear it. But I was like, for sure, mate. Like drumming and like streetwear and sneakers was like the one for me, man. It was.
What's the grail? What's the grail pair?
Mate, there's a couple. Probably my all-time favorite is an Air Max 97 1, which is by a guy called Sean Witherspoon. But then like a couple of the first like Off-White Jordan 1s to release are like a banger. I mean, one of them, mate, fucking hell. I bought for like retail price, which was 140 at the time, or maybe 160. And now they're like $3,500.
Mad.
Wow.
It's mental. I'll never sell it because I wear it, but yeah, it's crazy, man. That world of sneakers is just unbelievable. But
I got scammed once. I bought a pair of. Remember when Nike did the Yeezys and they had the black and pink ones with the it had a glow in the dark sole on them? I don't know if you remember them.
The Solars.
Yeah. I paid £500 on eBay, and they turned up and they were fake.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I ended
up brutal.
Yeah, I ended up getting a lot of it back, but it was, for a day I was like, I'm the king of the world! And then they came and I turned it over and I was like, there's a little bit of plastic off, but they on that Nike. These aren't real. Shit.
It's brutal. That world of shoes is crazy, mate. I mean, mate, that's a good pair. That's a grail for a lot of people, mate. I mean, mine for a long time was the Red Octobers, like the same basically model, but like the all red pair. There's no way I'm paying that much, man. But mate, it's crazy. I mean, like even some of the Travis Scotts that have come out recently, like they're fucking wicked. I love getting those. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It literally just started because I just kind of needed something else to think about as well as music. And then it was like my yin and yang. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like my consistent sort of work thing. And then the music is the other thing, really. But even though music is like busier, it's nice to have something where you can just separate, you know, your thinking.
100%.
Yeah.
So if you need shoes, mate, just message me, I'll sort you out.
Yes. I fucking do.
Oh,
I'm desperate.
We all need shoes. I need a new pair as well.
What size are you? What size are you?
I'm 9.5.
Oh, I'm 10.5. Shut up, Morg. Shut up, Morg. No way, Morg.
I'm a 9.5 as well. If you've got any rejects you don't want, I'll happily take some.
Yeah, all right. Mate, we'll sort something out, man. We'll sort something out.
Stick with wellies, Morg. Yeah, stick with wellies, Morg. Fuck off. Don't get involved in this. So.
I'll send you my vintage page, mate. I'll send you the vintage drop.
Yeah, fair.
There we go.
Fair, please do. Yeah. But as we start to wind down on this conversation, because we don't want to take up too much of your time, but just a couple of things I want to just go over. You've mentioned it briefly already and said like the door is always open for LTA in the future. But obviously there has been those conversations and it was very close to happening again. So where are you all with it now? Is it the terms of like, if we get an offer or something comes up and it makes sense and we're free and the schedules are lying and the planets are in the correct solar systems and all this jazz, then you're open to do it? Or is it at the moment just a wait and kind of see kind of vibe?
I think at the moment it's a wait and see kind of vibe. Like, I don't think, it's just, mate, it's a weird one. I don't want to sound too like hippie and, you know, with it, but like, it's just, I think all it takes is like a text to say, let's do something, or Mike say, I've got a song, or whatever it may be. And, you know, like, yeah, we'll see, mate. The interesting thing psychologically regarding getting an offer to do a show is that it didn't come from us. So it was like, it was given to us as an opportunity, and it made us think, actually, do we want to do it? As opposed to just one of us being like, I really miss it. I want to do a show or something. But it was, I will say it was really nice to like, you know, have a conversation and even start thinking about doing another show. It was cool, mate, because that band means a lot to me, mate, and I think it means a lot to a lot of people.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and I fucking love it, and yeah, man. Like I said, all the boys are some of the most amazing musicians that I've ever met in my life, and we had some fucking good memories, mate. So I think we'll just see, man. We'll see, like. Yes. Okay. If when the right time, I know that's a sort of a nothing answer, but it's just
not. It's not.
No, because
it's better than absolutely fucking not. So
yeah,
man.
There's people who will be listening to this who will be glad that it's in the conversations, it's out there in the universe. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Oh, mate, definitely, mate, definitely. And like I said, like, yeah, the thought of doing it does excite me, and. Yeah, I think, I would just love to see them boys do it, like play music. Do you know what I mean? When now Mike's got his studio up and running, and that looks incredible. It's just like, yeah, man. Like I said, they're two good musicians not to be doing music, regardless if it's LTA or not. But it just comes down to again whether people want to do it, man. I think that music is a tough roller coaster, but a beautiful one, and I think it's important to hop off it from time to time, but when you want to get back on the ride, it's like, cool, let's go. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
100%.
Fingers crossed.
It is 2025 now, which means from September onwards, you are going to be on this mammoth tour that just kept getting added dates, like if it was the hottest ticket in town, because it is Busted versus McFly. I'm sure just like seeing the announcement and then it growing, and like, what is it now? A Wembley day and 4 nights at the O2, including multiple nights every other fucking city in the UK. Like, that must be something to really look forward to, and to look at that poster and be like, wow, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, mate. I mean, fucking hell, like the conversation's been going for a while, and like, yeah. So obviously, I've got a peek behind the curtain, so it feels like it's been a thing for a while, but I think the reality sort of kicks in when you see the poster and you see the amount of dates as well. I mean, yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. Like, Yeah, I think it's 502s or whatever, something crazy, mate. But like, it is like mental. I mean, yeah, again, like I look back and that would have been, not to sound like David Brent, but I think over the last 3 years, it would be 6, 7, 8, 9. I played with Busted the O2 probably 9 times over the last 2.5 years, which is mental. I never thought that. But it's weird because I still feel like I'm a clueless kid who's just starting. And I don't, you never feel like, oh, check, done. And yeah, again, circle back, mate. I think that tour just excites me, man. I'm just going to enjoy it as much as possible and have fun. And it's going to be fun to play with the McFly lads as well. Like I've met them like previously before, but went to their studio not too long ago, and mate, they're wicked. It's a good group of guys who are like all super talented and creative, and it's just going to be a good vibe to, you know, play some. Yeah, it's going to be, mate. It's going to be fucking amazing. Come down to the show, boys. Obviously, we'll sort you out.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. Hey, I'm going to try and get to as many as I possibly can. So
mate,
I'll take you up on anything.
Mate, just drop me a line.
You'll regret that. I regret sending him my number, Ed. And I work with him. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, can't wait for those shows. Are you and Harry Judd going to have a fight? That would be good, wouldn't it? Like if you had a wrestling match.
He's pretty fucking ripped. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he
is pretty shredded. I'll tell you what, mate. Honestly, I've got to start running before. And I know he's going to be topless. Do you know what I mean? It's like
100%. Yeah.
Chill out, Harry. Just bang on a jumper or something. Let me just let me win at something. Do you know what I mean?
Put it away, will you?
Mate, it's yeah, but I'm looking forward to it, mate. Honestly, like it's going to be nice. Like Harry is he's a fucking legend, but he's a wicked drummer, mate. And the McFly know what they're doing. I don't know if you've ever seen them live before, but they know what they're doing. They put on a really good show. And yet again, they're all amazing musicians and stuff. So it's going to be, I've never toured in this setting before. I don't think many people have really, with like a versus thing. I know a co-headline is a thing, but I've never done a tour where it's, I've never done a tour like this before. So it's going to be interesting to like tour with another group and another band in that setting. And yeah, mate, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I think it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, we can't wait either.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, man. Well, come down, mate. Any shows you want to come to, just let me know.
You shouldn't
have said that because
you're gonna regret that.
It's easier.
Mate,
it's easier just giving me a tour pass. That's probably what I'm just going to say.
Look, see, this has happened. No, this has happened.
Mate, that's it. Mate, just put a camera around your neck, mate. No one will ask questions. You know what I mean?
It's fine. Exactly. Yeah, it's fine.
Just go down early with a high-vis jacket, walk a ladder, and you're fine.
Mate, exactly. I remember the show, MTV Blaggers. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. I fucking love that show. It's just people blagging their way into events. But yeah, it's true, man. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. It's going to be busy. Like, it's going to creep up as well. Before I know it, like, at the minute, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing in my life. And then all of a sudden, it's going to be begging for some time off, but that's the way it goes, isn't it? But
well, we can't wait, honestly. But dude, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. We've wanted you on for forever, so I'm glad it's finally happened. And just thanks for telling so many stories and reminiscing and giving an insight behind the kit into a lot of things. Mate,
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, boys. Honestly, keep it up because this podcast is wicked, mate. I was listening on the way here as well, and it's fucking great, man. So keep it up and let me know, mate. Any shows you want to come to, just drop me a line. That's specifically for Morgan and Sean people. I'm not. This isn't going out to the whole podcast. I'm not saying everyone DM me right now.
We're gonna. Yeah. I tell you what, we could ruin his life and edit that bit out so he just sounds like years off into everybody.
But yeah, I appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me on, man.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you for everything.
Mate,
thank you for the music over the years, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, nice one, mate. I'll see you soon. Hurrah!
You're listening to Sappenin Podcast!
Don't do that ever again.
As a drum.
No. Listen, I know what you were trying to do, right? But you did it wrong, didn't you? It wasn't a good beat. It was sloppy. It wasn't to a click. So it wasn't, it was a bit all over the place.
It was done with my mouth as well, which a lot of people will be surprised by that. They would have thought I would have set up a drum kit just for that bit. It's not. It was with my mouth.
No, nobody's thinking that. Nobody. Fucking hell, I can't believe it. Morgan got a drum kit in and mic'd them all up perfectly just for that one section. No, we got it. Anyway, that was the fantastic Eddy Thrower of Busted, and potentially in the future, we hope, Lower Than Atlantis again. But yeah, what a fucking lovely human, legend, and fucking great storyteller. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the diversity of everything and getting so many different perspectives on his career, because like being in a band like Lower Than Atlantis for all those years, like they did the whole UK and European circuit and had some great stories surrounding it, and it's just mad how that can end, but at the same time you join a band like Busted, who have got a back catalogue of mega hits, playing arenas, and seeing how that band operates within it, but also having the luxury of having a step back away from it as well. Like he talked about not having those pressures of thinking like it's my band or anything, but still being treated like it is. It's really nice to see, and I'm such excited for that Busted and McFly tour starting in September. I will take him up on it. I will go to every date I possibly can, and you all listening know I will. So
yeah, I could tell, and because you were looking off, you were just staring off screen, and like literally just talk. It was like Wayne in Wayne's World when he sees the white Strat that he can't get, and he goes, "She will be mine." Oh yes, she will be mine. You was just staring off, and like, I am gonna go to those gigs, and I will be there, and Eddie will regret offering to fucking get me in.
Yeah, that will happen.
Yeah.
What I find is a common theme with me is people offer stuff and then they regret it. So
that is the problem with people. People do things where they're like, "Oh yeah, come down and show you want." Well, really? Oh fuck. Yeah, because I will see. Oh, will you? All of them, everyone. I'll be here before you, bro. I'll be waiting by the loading bay if you want. Give me a shout, like. But yeah, thank you very much to Eddie again for coming on, giving us his time. We had a fucking wonderful chat with him, and his setup at home with his fantastic camera, microphone and in-ears was a lovely, lovely little treat.
Yes, very professional. You can see video clips of this at Sappenin Pod on Instagram if you follow us. It's one of the perks of following us, that I do make a video every week to post on there to try and get attention and you to share and you to know what's going on behind the scenes and have a visual look at everything. And also, just go over there and just tell us what you thought about this episode. Share it with your friends and put it in your Instagram stories and tag us so we can reshare that and the love is spread. But let us know who you want us to talk to in 2025. We want to try a lot of new things. We want to try different things. And look, we can tell you, we do have, I don't want to do the band thing of them saying big things coming soon, like everyone does. But we might have some announcements over the next couple of weeks that happen very shortly after we announce them. Fingers crossed if everything goes to plan.
I know. Yeah, I know. I spent a fucking fortune last night trying to... Yeah. That's coming soon. But yeah, what a fucking chat. Thank you again to Eddie. Thank you to everybody who's listened to this. As Morgan said, give us a follow at Sappenin Pod. Go to patreon.com/Sappenin to join our wonderful team, crew, homies. They're basically producers of this, I've realised.
That is true. We could start saying that because, yeah, they are technically our bosses, even though we don't have bosses.
No, listen, I don't mind calling them producers.
Okay.
Let's not give these bastards any more power than they've already got.
That's
because
true.
You see what they say about us. There's a mutiny. Again, and ironically, it's around the same time last year that we had a mutiny as well. So, yeah. If you like this podcast, get in touch with us, patreon.com/Sappenin. But right now, I have to thank the elite members, the top members of our Patreon, who are as follows. Thank you very much, Kylie Wheeler, Paul Hirschfield, Tony Michael, Scarlett Charlton, Dylan Califragilistic XPL Grimwood, Mitch Perry, Nathan Croso, Johanna, Molly Malloy and James Bowerbank, Amy Louise, Kat Besant, Chris Howard, Jonathan Gutierrez, Amy Hogg, Jenny Robertson, Amy Dawson, Murray Grimwood, Scott Jones, Mayumi, Stuart McNaught, Ellen Southfield, Jennifer Dean, John and Emma, Caroline Robertson, Jenny Munster, Louis Cook, Carl Pendlebury, Jason Heredia, James McNaught, Martina McManus, Danny Eaton, Thomas O'Neill, Kalila Keane, Adam King Ilgos Parslow. Check out his band, The Nightmares. They've got an album coming out on Valentine's Day, and it'll be fucking class knowing them. Thank you very much. Dan Peregrine, Emily Perry, Ollie Amesbury. Josh, I told a joke on Zoom meeting, nobody laughed. Turns out I'm not even remotely funny. Crisp. That's more of a statement, I think, than anything else. Thank you very much, Fraser Cummins, Laura Russell, Lavender Lee Martin, and Connor Lewins. Oh, and for some reason, we got a switch at the bottom. Kyle King of the Slothsmith is at the bottom for some reason this week. So that's different and new. But yes, thank you very much to all of those people and everybody who's part of our Patreon. Thank you for the wonderful support you give us and each other. You are the greatest thing that we have ever been involved with.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you for anyone for listening, for getting this far and just having a laugh with us, because that's what we want to try and do. Tell you stories, give you an insight, and make you laugh, because life's too short and you need to giggle as much as you can. So without me making you even more depressed, we'll be back next week and every Friday for even more of all these mixed emotions, like the giant emos we are, and hopefully we'll see you then.
Yes, tidy. Nice one. Cheers. Ta. Keep your tongue out. Don't be sick. Please don't die. Stay safe. Travel safe. Sappenin!
Sappenin!
Don't know why my voice broke, eh? You're listening to Sappenin Podcast with Sean Smith and Morgan Richards. Thank you very much for downloading this podcast or streaming it, or I don't know what else you do with podcasts. Thank you very much.